Yeah, what did you make of that tonight? You probably had the game sort of in your control. Certainly, there was something with the scoreboard in the first half, and it just got away from you in the third quarter.
Yeah, it's really disappointing. It's as simple as that. We did enough things right in the first half that we had a little bit of a lead, but I think it just came down to a little bit more want in the third quarter. They just wanted to win. They wanted to win the ball. They won the contested possession really well, and they beat us by 31, I think, in total, 24 in the third quarter. They just wanted to win the game more than we did, which is disappointing.
How damning is that for your group, given
it should be very damning, because we should never have let that game go the way it went in the third quarter. We worked hard to get our first quarter right, we got that right, so we're doing enough things right at half time. But as I said, the Bulldogs just wanted to win more, and credit goes to them because they just wanted the game.
Did the heat play factor at all?
No, not at all.
That obviously, as you said, is very disappointing when it comes down to the want factor, isn't it? Your use of the ball generally, was it just the conditions with that as well? Or?
Oh, clearly they made it more difficult, but both sides played in it, and they used the ball probably more than us. They had more possessions than us. They used it by hand more than us. They used it by foot probably more than us. So they just used it better. We just turned it over at poor times, and they made us pay for it.
Your midfield was slowed after a great start to the year. Is that part of the problem?
Yeah, I think there's no doubt that there's lots of parts that put it together, and we've slowed up as a group in our last 4 or 5 weeks, and up until tonight I think we've probably been okay even in some of the games, but the game tonight was the disappointing one. It was there for us to win, and the Bulldogs wanted, as I said, they wanted to win it more, and they went and won.
So that's the most disappointing defeat that you've had this year?
Yeah, by a long way. Yep, for me it's been a really poor night for us.
Would the bye come at a good time now then to regroup after the 5 straight losses?
Well, it's really hard to answer, I suppose. We won't know until we get through the bye and come back out in our next opportunity to play football. And we've got to travel to make sure we'll go and travel to Sydney and take on a challenge that'll be there for us to again be prepared. We have to come up and stand up in front and make sure we're willing to take it on.
After GWS, it gets pretty difficult as well. You've got Hawthorn, Sydney, Essendon, a few tough games all in a row at Collingwood as well.
Yeah, I think they're all difficult. I mean, we know that's where we're at. AFL football's difficult for us every week, and we don't ever think of it any differently. So yes, for their challenges next, we just got to worry about this one that's coming up now. We got to get through. We've got to review this game hard and understand and learn again from the game, and and then prepare ourselves best as we possibly can to go into the next game.
Have you got an injury update as well?
Yeah, well, Jared Redden's obviously hurt his shoulder. It's popped out a little bit, sublexed a little, so he's, obviously he's going to be an issue for us, and we've got to make a decision on, how bad that will be, and whether it'll require surgery now to end his season, or whether we can push on a little bit more. We won't know that until we get the scans. But my first thought would say we wouldn't be taking too many risks, and we'd be getting him repaired quite quickly.
So it's that bad, is it? Looks like it could be a season-ending shoulder regrowth.
Yeah, that's probably what it's looking like. Yeah, there's no doubt. It's his shoulder subluxed to come out. So, once that happens in a ruckman, a young ruckman too, it's going to be something that we don't want him to carry. We want to get it strong and make sure he's right, because he's got a lot of time in front of him and a big future for us.
So how do you feel now? 5-zip, fantastic start to the year. Now heading into your bye 5-5. How do you feel the group is tracking right now?
I suppose if you looked at the numbers, it'd look okay, but it's disappointing, because we got away to a great start. We worked really hard to get that start, and we've gave that up now, and that's the disappointing part about it. We didn't expect to go through and have a nice smooth sailing time of winning AFL football. We knew it was going to be a challenge for us. We got a good start, and that was something we deserved. But we've now lost 5, and that's something we also deserve. You've
got to work out, I know it's very early after this game, but what's gone wrong over the past 5 weeks? Is it a multitude of issues? Yeah,
I don't think there's one thing. I think it's just there's a bit of work rate in there that's caused us some concern. There's a lot of opposition in there that's caused us concern. But tonight I think it was just purely a lack of want. That was my biggest concern for the players, and I said that to them. You didn't want to win tonight for some reason. I'm not quite sure why, because we had a lot to play for.
Hamish, how does that happen?
Look, obviously it's a mindset. We've really prided ourselves the whole year on our second halves and really standing up when times get tough, and obviously failed to do that tonight. And you can't afford to play 3 okay, sort of mediocre, subpar, quarters of footy, and then just have one that's an absolute catastrophe like we had in the third quarter. You just can't do that in the modern day game. It kills you, and it obviously hurt us tonight.
And personally, how are you tracking? You obviously had a great start the year. You struggled a bit in recent weeks. I know you got 21 touches tonight, but you weren't quite as effective as you can be.
Yeah, obviously I've struggled over the last few weeks. Continue to work hard, do extra sessions at the club, and it's the only way you can get out of form slumps. Keep working hard, and I'm sure with the help of the other guys and the coaches that the form will turn around sooner rather than later.
Did you initially struggle with taggers initially, or?
Yeah, obviously it was something different, having a little bit of extra attention on me, and it's another learning curve, I suppose. I learned from guys around me, Boki and the coaching staff. They've been really supportive, and try and work through those difficulties. But that was no excuse tonight or the last 2 weeks, that's for sure.
So, Ken, the goal for the last 12 rounds for you guys?
The last 12 rounds, well, the goal for us is to get back to working hard in the next round. And then, look, as I said, if you go through and look at the season so far, we'd think we've probably hung in there most of the time, and that's why tonight's disappointing for me. Tonight's the first time I felt like we didn't hang tough when we needed to. So our goal now is to make sure we finish off what's in front of us, and that's round 12 for us against GWS, and that's all we're going to look at is worry about that, because as I said before, we don't put limits, we don't go too far ahead. We just can't afford to. We're that club that's in that renewal stage, and we need to make sure every chance we play, we get something out of the game. And certainly tonight, I reckon we got a real big lesson.
I guess you corrected your first quarter. Might be the only real positive, I guess, from that point of view. You won the first term.
Feels hollow now, doesn't it? You worked hard to get your first quarter right, and we think we've been at that for a while and finally turned that around. But first quarter, third quarter, they hurt you.
Another positive was Jack Hodge. I thought he was pretty good tonight.
He's outstanding. Jack was very good for us in his first game for the club. And he looked like a really genuine defender who wanted to defend hard on the body. And he won contests one-on-one, and that was because he worked hard to be on the body.
So he could be a real player, obviously, for you for the rest of the year
and
beyond.
Yeah, clearly we got Jack back to the club, and we were very happy to get him back to the club. And we thought we had a tall back that could come in and play some really solid football for us for a long period of time. He was a young player that we got back. So yeah, we're excited that Jack's back at the club and going to give us plenty to go with in the future.
How did you get your midfield firing again? Because obviously Matty Broadbent struggling a bit as well.
Yeah, I think there's a number of them struggling. Travis has probably carried it pretty well up until tonight, and he got some close attention. And we've seen tonight, you've seen the quality of the opposition with Griffin getting the ball and Liberatore getting the ball. When it counted in tight, we just couldn't deliver the same back to them. So they clearly won the midfield battle. We need support, and we need to keep working hard. As Hamish said, it's no tricks. You just got to keep at it and keep working really hard.
And Johnny Butcher.
Yeah, John started off all okay. I mean, we knew we couldn't go with the extra ruck probably in this game, and we wanted to play John. The conditions by the end, we always thought that there was it was a half to 3/4 of a game of football that we'd be looking and thinking the conditions would become reasonably difficult, and that's what they became. So that's why we went for the extra run, and that's why we had Mitchell there. We thought if we could get to that position and make the most of it, we'd be okay at the back end of the game, which we clearly weren't.
And how far is Renouf away from playing again if Redden's no good?
No, he's fine next week. He's actually available to play next week, so that's a blessing for us that we've got him. And we've got Lobie. Lobie's recovered from his ankle now, and we'll have both of them available. So we'll have a ruckman or two that we can actually consider as our options.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.